Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Human Resources in History. This podcast aims to offer insights from 7,000 years of human history to help modern human resource practices. I'm your host, Jin. I'm an HR professional, and I love history. The script of this podcast is generated using AI, and it's based on our blog post which we published a few weeks ago under the same topic. This voice is a synthetic clone of my real voice, and it is generated using AI. Today, we're going back in time to the Renaissance, a period of immense change and growth in Europe. If you think about innovation in our world today, you might imagine tech breakthroughs like the iPhone changing how we communicate, the printing press, which forever altered the spread of knowledge. But what if I told you that the Renaissance could be considered one of the greatest moments of innovation in human history? The Medici family is a powerful banking family from Florence. They played a huge role in fostering this creativity and exchange of ideas. So let's talk about how their influence offers lessons for HR today, especially when it comes to building environments where innovation and creativity can thrive. First of all, what exactly was the Renaissance? The Cambridge Dictionary calls it the period of new growth of interest and activity in art, literature, and ideas in Europe during the 15th and 16th centuries. In other words, it was a time when Europe was rediscovering the classics, philosophies, sciences, and artistic techniques from ancient Greece and Rome. For centuries before this, a lot of European thought was dominated by the church. But the Renaissance brought something different. It opened up new ways of thinking about humanity and the world around us, sparking a lot of creativity in areas like art, science, and even religion. A famous example is Botticelli's painting The Birth of Venus. It's an image of the goddess Venus emerging from a shell, and it stands out because it draws on classical mythology. A significant shift from the purely religious art of earlier times. This new mindset laid the groundwork for advancements that influenced not only their time, but generations to come. So why Florence? What made it a hotspot for the Renaissance? Florence was a unique city. It was a trade and finance center filled with merchants and bankers who had made substantial fortunes. This wealth supported the arts and allowed creative thinkers to pursue their ideas. But more importantly, Florence had the Medici family. They were more than just wealthy bankers. They were patrons of the arts and played a crucial role in shaping the Renaissance. The Medici family invited artists, philosophers, and scholars to gather at the Palazzo Medici. They even created a place called the Platonic Academy, where people could study classical art and literature. This open environment helped connect some of the greatest minds of the time, including Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. With the support of the Medicis, these artists weren't just creating, they were inspiring each other. And as a result, works like Raphael's School of Athens emerged. It's a painting that brought together Greek philosophers like Plato and Aristotle in a Roman-inspired setting. All of this happened because the Medicis fostered an environment where creative people could meet, connect, and exchange ideas. Here's a lesson we can draw from this era, and it's a powerful one. Creating connections across disciplines can drive incredible change. The Renaissance wasn't just art or science. It was a fusion of ideas, a blending of influences from different fields. If artists, scientists, and philosophers hadn't been able to collaborate and inspire each other, we wouldn't have had the Renaissance as we know it. So when we look at modern workplaces, creating that type of environment is essential. Imagine if your marketing director could sit down with a factory manager from another country just to exchange ideas. Maybe they won't see the benefits right away, But over time, this cross-functional sharing can lead to big breakthroughs. Even if they're not directly connected on a day-to-day basis, raising the chances of these interactions can lay the foundation for future collaboration and innovation. Now, this idea isn't just some historical theory. Studies have actually shown a link between employee connections and business performance. For instance, Harvard Business School did a study that analyzed LinkedIn connections across thousands of US firms, and they found that companies with more connected employees tend to have a higher firm value. These companies also invest more in research and development, and their patents often have a stronger impact. This correlation might not prove cause and effect, but it suggests that the more connected employees are, the better a company can perform. So let's bring this back to your organization. Do people in your workplace connect across departments or regions? Do they share ideas beyond their specific projects? If not, this is where HR can make a big difference. Human resources can design spaces and create opportunities for employees to connect and exchange ideas beyond their daily tasks. Now, what can HR do to make these connections a reality? It doesn't have to be complicated or forceful. Here are a few ideas. First of all, you can offer cross-functional training. Human resources can organize training sessions that bring together employees from different departments. It's a chance for them to learn something new and build relationships with colleagues they wouldn't usually meet. Secondly, you can host events across divisions. These could be anything from corporate gatherings to virtual meet and greets. Just getting people to interact can open doors for future collaboration. Third, you can encourage something like lunch with a stranger campaigns. This one's interesting. HR could run a campaign where employees are encouraged to have lunch with someone from a different team. It helps break down silos and fosters a culture where employees feel comfortable mingling. For this to work, it's especially important for management to set an example. Next idea is to use LinkedIn-style internal networking. If the company uses LinkedIn or something similar for internal communication, HR can encourage employees to connect with colleagues they don't know yet. Again, having top management participate first is key to setting a friendly tone. Lastly, you can design open office spaces. Physical space can make a big difference too. Designing an office layout that promotes interaction, think shared workspaces or communal areas, encourages people to bump into each other, sparking those spontaneous conversations. These ideas might sound small, but over time, these little changes build a networking culture. Sure, it might take time, and it can feel a bit awkward at first, but the payoff can be huge. As we wrap up, let's address a final thought on the Medici family. Yes, their contributions were vital for the Renaissance, but the family wasn't without flaws. Leo X, for example, was involved in issuing indulgences, a practice that ultimately led to a crisis for the Catholic Church. Also, Catherine de' Medici, she's infamous for her role in the St. Bartholomew's Day massacre. History has a way of showing both the light and the dark sides of influential figures. But does this mean we can't learn from them? Not at all. Just like Michelangelo once said at 87, I am still learning. We should stay open to learning from history, flaws and all. And that's all for today's episode of Human Resources in History. I hope you found some useful takeaways that you can apply in your work. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to check out our other episodes and blog posts for more historical insights that can help us solve modern HR challenges. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.